Hi, today we're going to talk about the IBM WebSphere Application Server Feature Pack for Web 2.0. It's available as an early program right now, and it'll be generally available very shortly. What I'd like to do is take you through a mini tour of some of the sample applications we have for the feature pack and highlight a few of the things that you can do with the feature pack and actually take a look at out on the site via the live demo link here if you were to want to do these yourself. But let's take a mini tour. So going through the applications, the first one I'm going to take a look at here is the what we're calling the Dojo car store. And Dojo is the toolkit we use for augmenting many of the UI functionalities to give a much more responsive Ajax-based look and feel to the feature pack. We've made a lot of enhancements to Dojo. I want to take you through a few of those and just show you what a typical Web 2.0 application might look like with some of these advanced features that you can get in the feature pack. So at the top of this web browser, if you take a look, there's a nice little effect here as you scroll across the various cars in our fictional car dealership. You'll see that they expand and contract in kind of a fisheye effect to let you visually become aware of which one that you're actually selecting and is currently active. If you'll notice, you can also use the up and down arrows to scan between different rows of functions and cars rather, which again is a nice effect and a nice widget that's part of the feature pack. If I select one of the cars, in this case, if I take the Porsche, you'll notice that I can drag and drop it, and I can actually drag any car from this list over into this area down below. When I do that, it becomes active, and I can even add that to my cart. You'll notice that the typical Web 2.0 type experience in terms of an advanced UI for a web page is that I don't have to submit each action and have a full refresh of the browser page each time I hit the submit button. So as I come across this list and pick the Toyota, for example, I can instantly see the information without having to do anything else. I don't have to wait for the hourglass in a browser to refresh. I can continue to add things to my cart. If you look at the widgets in this section over here, although this looks like a simple table, it's actually got quite a bit more to it. For one thing, to enhance the readability, you get the ledger effect here as I add different things to this, alternating rows or different colors so that I can increase the readability. If I go to the top of this, I can actually sort each of these columns based on what's in them. Again, locally within my browser, I can see this information, and I don't have to go through a browser refresh just to get this page updated. Similarly, the total down here reflects the total in my current shopping cart without having to go through any refresh. If I remove something because I decide I don't want it, you'll notice that the total down here also reflects that instantly. Very responsive, very much like what you'd expect out of a desktop application, which is really the point of many of these Web 2.0 type applications and user interfaces. So if I proceed to the checkout here, I get another table which shows my order and things that I will check out with. But if I go to some of these fields, a few of these are just normal entry fields, but take something like the suitable arriving time down below here. This is a date field, and so this is something that really begs for a nice interface to be able to input a specific date without having to type something in by hand. And here you see a Dojo calendar widget which allows me to select a given date for my arrival time for these particular vehicles. Another nice feature, there's a set of widgets within the Dojo toolkit that the feature pack leverage to really provide this extra set of UI functionality. You'll see here another table example, and again I can sort the table here locally in any direction I might choose. So that's interesting, and I can go through that process and really enhance an existing web application or even a new web application using the feature pack. If I were to go back though and take a look at this particular application, you'll see here that I've actually localized this for more than just the US and added Chinese as an option. When I flip to the Chinese version, you'll see that I get obviously everything in Chinese, but more importantly, various things that are pretty locale specific start to take effect. So you'll see, for example, that I now have For fields that have indicated a currency, I've got the yen instead of the US dollar being used. If I were to add this particular car to the list, that's also reflected up here in the table. But interestingly, if I were to continue to add cars and I were to do things like sort, now I can do sort that's also country specific. For numerical values, obviously that's the same, but for things that are specific to the car make and model, I can now sort that in an international fashion and have that be correct. Similarly, if I go to this other page here and take a look at some of the embedded widgets like the date widget we picked from before, you'll notice that now I have a nice localized version of a date picker, which allows me to go and specify the date here. So overall, a very nice set of features within the Web2.0 Feature Pack that provide a robust environment for developing rich internet applications with a focus on accessibility and internationalization. Let's take a look at another sample application for the Web2.0 Feature Pack. In this particular case, we've got a fictitious market report, which is something you may see on the internet occasionally, which basically goes through and shows the latest and greatest information about various companies and what their latest business news is. But a very fashionable thing to do these days is to include information and hyperlinks about the company in question to provide people with more information if they want it. In this particular example, what we've actually done is enabled the current market price for these particular, again, these are fictional stocks, but these particular businesses and their associated stock prices. And you'll see here that we're using a nice Web2.0 effect to fade in and out the increase or decrease, as the case may be, for each of these particular stocks. What's interesting about this example is you'll notice that various things update at different intervals, so not every single stock is updating each time. It's just a matter of which one happens to be active at that point and has a change to be noted. And so the page itself appears to be just static, but in reality is being updated real time with all this information. And what's happening behind the scenes here is really kind of a fundamental feature of the Web2.0 Feature Pack based on the application server itself. We have an asynchronous set of events that are coming from the server, and so the server in this case is the holder of all the stock information. And it asynchronously updates the client through a set of technologies that are part of the feature pack based on something called Comet D, which is a specification for allowing events to pass from the server to the browser. And what this really allows us to do is effectively have a publish and subscribe mechanism where the browser can subscribe to various topics that the server publishes. And the protocol handling that the feature pack takes care of ensures both the delivery of the message as well as the ability to efficiently distribute those events over to a wide variety of browsers. So scalability is a factor here as well. As everybody is looking at this web page, you want to be able to effectively and efficiently send events back to the browser and not overload the server. And so the publish and subscribe functionality is really an ideal application for something like this example here. We built it based on our WebSphere platform messaging technology, so it again has a strong track record with the application server's base function, and it's really something that we've enabled on the server to take advantage of the WebSphere scalability characteristics, but in a Web 2.0 style fashion here with the browser asynchronous updates. That concludes our brief tour of the IBM WebSphere Application Server Feature Pack for Web 2.0. The demos you saw in this brief video are available as live demonstrations on the early program site. I encourage you to check them out there.